Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I know very recently Congress is taking up the unborn child pain awareness, which is, I believe, something that you yourself introduced, right, Senator?
Yes, it is.
And what was the thinking in, because some people say, well, all abortion is wrong, so why are we going to go after this Child Pain Awareness Act? What do you see as the promise for that?
Well, in some respects, what I see here is this is something that is Roe consistent. It doesn't violate Roe, even though I believe Roe to be fundamentally wrong and clearly not in the Constitution, the right to abortion. But this doesn't even challenge that. This says, okay, Roe is currently by the Supreme Court designated as the law of the land. But it says in this one, if you have a child that's 20 weeks of age or older and are seeking an abortion, this child in utero, and you're seeking an abortion, if this child is aborted, this child will feel extraordinary pain, and that you, as the mother, need to have all the information possible, and you need to know, and we require under this, A, that you're informed of the pain that the child will experience, and you are offered anesthesia for the child. You can waive it, but you are offered anesthesia for the child before the abortion. Completely Roe consistent, but also really telling this mother, look, this is what you are physically doing, and don't let somebody mislead you that this is just a blob of tissue and it feels nothing.
Now, Senator, very often, we elect our representatives like yourself and pro-life people, and then very often everyone takes a back seat, till the next election. Now, a bill like this Child Pain Awareness Act, what's the best approach that people could have with, let's say, their senator, whether they're pro-life or maybe they were not going to vote the right way? What's the best way that we can try to influence them?
Well, it's to write and call them, but one of the things that I would do and urge people to do if they would is members of Congress, senators hold town hall meetings, they travel places listening for input. I would urge people to go to those meetings and raise this issue with them and raise it in a very informed fashion about the science on this. We know that this child feels pain at that point in time, and really just from practical experience. Every mother that's had a child knows that child feels pressure and pushing at that age. But they need to bring it to the awareness of the member. Write them, call them, email them, but the best thing really they can do is to go to town hall meetings and raise the issue personally and directly with them there.
Senator, in our last minute or so of this segment, I recently heard you in one of your speeches talking about it was prior to the election, but you zeroed in on something that's so important because so many candidates think that they should shy away from speaking the truth because of negative political repercussions. But you said something. You said, we win on the truth. Can you explain what you meant?
It's virtually the words speak for themselves. It is a strange thing, though, in politics that people feel like often, people in my position that are running for political office, that you can't really speak with clarity or you will offend people. And the votes are to be gained in the middle. It's by not being too much this way or too much that way. And yet, I think that is fundamentally wrong when you're dealing with clear moral issues. Maybe not with every issue, and so I don't think it is with every issue, but when you're dealing with clear moral issues, that's just wrong. And the truth is that this is a life in the womb, and the truth is we should speak of it as a life in the womb, and that we should speak with clarity about this, and we should speak boldly, and there's nothing to be ashamed about being pro-life, and that I want to have a culture of life. And if anything, I think it rallies people, and instead of talking in code words like, well, I'm for family values, or I believe life begins at conception, but then you're not willing to say, well, why do you believe that, and why do you think it's important? This is probably the lead moral issue of our day. It is the lead moral issue of our day. And we should speak with clarity on that, and I think the people will respond, and we shouldn't be scared of speaking with clarity on such an important key issue.
Well, we want to thank you for the clarity with which you have spoken and for the action that you've taken on this and so many issues. We really look forward to continuing to work with you, both within and the structures of lawmaking and also with other opportunities to influence public opinion and advance public education. Thank you so much, Senator, for all that you do and for being with us on the program.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Well, Janet, isn't it refreshing to hear those kind of remarks from a U.S. Senator?
Yes, it was not only refreshing, but I think we were so honored just to have that opportunity and how honestly he talked to us and to the audience.
That's right. Well, we'll look forward to more time with Senator Brownback. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us. Spread the word about Senator Brownback, and on our website you'll find copies of various speeches he has given, some of which we have referred to today in this segment. Stay with us. We'll be going into our action segment next.